Hello, my name is Rick.
Ciao, my name's Millie.
And this is episode 4
Quattro.
of season 3.
Tre. I was going to say due.
Of Yonks
Ago.
And as you can tell by that, very synchronized Yonks Ago. This is being recorded on Zoom, so bear with us. Cue the theme song.
Oh, yeah.
Season 3, could it be Donny B? Who is he? Just another bit of history that we're gonna get to know in a brand new little season of Yonks Ago. A father and a daughter putting on a show, finding out about people from Yonks Ago. Y-O-N-K-S Ago. Y-O-N-K-S Ago. Fact or fiction? We don't know. Y-O-N-K-S Ago.
Episode 4 has got off. It's underway. It's our first multi-state recording.
Yup.
We're no longer in the same room. Neither of us are in the kitchen.
No.
We're both in a whole new environment to record this podcast. I'm in hotel quarantine.
And I'm in my room.
Yeah.
My room.
So I'm, in isolation while I chucky wake it, and Millie, with no reason to be in the kitchen, has shunned the epicenter of the household.
Yeah.
And we're recording on
I
Zoom.
missed a little bit of that because you broke up, but it's fine.
Yeah, so we're recording on Zoom, so we're going to see how this goes. It's already fraught with technical difficulties. We can't speak in synchronicity.
It is what it is.
I'm occasionally breaking up. You're occasionally just staring blankly at the screen. That's when I know that I'm breaking up, because I'm like, I'm saying stuff and you're giving me nothing. There's nothing more relatable than that, though, Yonky Doodlers, in 2020. Everyone knows the pain.
Yeah, and I stare off into space normally anyway. Yeah. So it's the same.
You've got a free pass.
No.
I know. So this is the real test. Yeah. Trying to keep Millie engaged in the podcast, with our historical content is hard enough when we're in the same room. Sometimes I've got to really push that energy out to fight the afternoon zone outs that she gets struck by, that she embraces. A lot of the time she welcomes it. Sometimes I think she only does the podcast so she can get a bit of zone out time. Probably,
honestly.
My attempts at instilling some historical knowledge are the perfect elixir to her inability to zone out. I can cure what ails ya. So here we are, season 3. It seemed like you'd forgotten.
Season 3, Donny B.
Yeah, you didn't even know what season we were in there. That's how much we're struggling.
Because I've become accustomed to saying 2. I mean, do it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I was ready to go. And then I was like, wait, you just said 3 though. That's not the right one. And then I had to wrap my head around what 3 was. So it took a while, yeah.
So your autopilot, your Nancy Wake autopilot was in control, but your Italian instincts wouldn't allow it.
No, exactly.
It caused an internal battle.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say your Italian instincts won out eventually.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, so if this was your final Italian test, I give you high distinction.
Thanks. Grazie.
Yeah. Well
Mi dispiace. Mi dispiace. Scusa.
Prego. So stay tuned for our upcoming Italian podcast as well. We just gave you all the words we're good at.
After our maths podcast and our linguistics podcast. I guess that's you go, Dad. Sorry.
Should we not give podcasts for every main subject at school?
I feel like we probably should.
Could we not eventually have a whole curriculum we could tie in? Eventually, teachers can just play our podcasts.
Yeah. When they can't be stopped. Yeah.
We eventually won't need teachers, is what I'm saying.
It is what it is.
It'll just be our podcast instructing the future, letting kids know what's necessary. Because our perfect blend of fact and fiction, I think that's what the future is.
I think it is as well. That's
what the future needs.
Yeah.
For too long, we've been anchored to facts like lemmings. I say no more. So stay tuned, future. Yonks Ago is the curriculum that your children will all be embracing.
Yeah.
Because not only will you learn stuff, you'll also be able to zone out at will.
Yeah.
Which is all you want to do at school.
The tests will be like, in what season, the Italian version, in what season in Italian did they talk about yada, yada, yada? Do you know what I mean?
Perfect, yeah. I'm happy. I don't mind having the monopoly on education. I feel like this is where we're heading, and I embrace it. But Donny B, we got stuck into a little bit of Donny B's childhood last episode, where he very falsely was attributed to living the Huckleberry Finn lifestyle, and I took great offence, rightly so. You're bloody joking me.
He was Huck Finn in it, but with other people around him.
He was the opposite of Huck Finn in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I nearly my brain.
Oh.
Yeah, my brain went just swap the letters of his name around to do the opposite, and then my brain quickly said, "Not appropriate."
Unless
there's a fun mental exercise for all you Yonky doodlers out there. So he was the opposite of Huck Finn in it, but he was having a good time. He had a little bit of rom-com action where he rode his bike into a car and bloodied his nose and got sent home, and he met Jessie Menzies.
Jessie,
and they got along like a house on fire. And then just a little bit down the track, she was going to get sent off to a fancy school, and Donny B's mum said, "Don't bother.
Surely not.
She can stay. She can live with us and go to the good schools around here." And Donny B went, "Yes,
yes, mum. Mum gets a point."
Points to the mum. And we didn't get any concrete evidence, apart from that they got along like a house on fire.
What does that phrase mean? Got on like a house on fire? Like fast.
Yeah, well, there was heat, there was intensity, there was reactions. It was
okay,
it was warming.
Yeah,
it was essential for life.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of things that fire can do for you.
Yeah, but the house.
Yeah, you do lose a house. Look, to be fair, you give up a house in this whole situation, but. I think back in these days, houses were a dime a dozen. Like you lose change. If you had loose change, you could go to the shops and get some lollies or buy a house.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's what I'm led to believe.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at. We're going to zip back to his cricketing career because he started his little schoolyard cricket. School cricket team, yeah. And we learned a little bit about that as well, where he nearly got bowled first ball. But then he went on, stressful. But he survived and he went on to be not out, 55 not out. And so later on, at the end of that year, we got a little glimpse, the first rock solid glimpse of the Donny B come.
At the end of what year?
That's a good question. Where are we?
Quick quiz from Millie.
I feel like it's 1920.
Okay.
Yeah,
good year.
1920. So exactly, the maths, 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
Yeah,
I got it first.
Because we're at the end of this year, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's 2020.
Yeah.
He's at the end of that year, 1920.
So 100 years ago, exactly to the day.
I reckon to the day. I reckon on November 17th.
Nay, to the minute.
Donny B strode out for Bowral High School. That was his cricket team.
Okay.
And they were going against the neighbouring school, Mittagong.
Ah.
Bloody Mittagong.
Sound evil to me.
It's an easy team to turn. Like if you're trying to trash talk them, Mittagong is an easy transition to like. You can change the start of that of Mittagong and really lay into them. You know what I mean? Change the M to an SH and you've got a rock solid burn on Mittagong School, don't you? You've got a rock solid burn.
And took me a while. I'm a bit slow. It's okay.
Whereas what have you got for Bowral? I mean, it sounds a bit like bowels. Bowel movement.
I feel like we said this before, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like bowels.
Yeah. So bowel movement's your best bet. It's not rock solid.
Wait, what was it? Barrel?
Bowral.
You can say you're so bad.
Yeah. Again, it's an adequate burn. Whereas
you guys don't. No, go on. I go. You guys don't even know the barrels of this game.
Yes, we're getting better. We're getting better because that gets in their heads.
Yeah. We're like, I actually don't.
But it lacks the
What even-
simplicity of changing the M in Mittagong to an SH. It just lacks the simple, elegant swapping of some letters and in your face. But I guess Mittagong school would have been well used to it.
Yeah.
Because they would have used it themselves when they were describing their school. You know how you bag your own school when you're there.
Yeah.
But if anyone else tries to bag your school, you get a bit defensive.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the rules.
Yeah. That's the
Bower rules. And so Donny B has gone out to bat for the Bower rulers.
What number?
He's gone in at first drop. So third in the batting order. So yeah, they're one for.
Good, nice.
They're one for. And he's come in and he has scored his first century.
Oh!
115 not out, Donny B has
awesome.
Ended the day with.
150?
15. 115 not out.
Got it. That's excellent.
From the team score of 156.
He got all their points.
So the team made 156. Donny B got 115 of them, and they couldn't even get him out. Yeah, I mean,
MVP.
man of match.
Yeah.
Boy of the match. The bomb. He was the bomb. And so he's feeling pretty chipper.
Do they go on first? Do they go on bat first?
I don't know. It doesn't go to say.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it doesn't. It does not. It doesn't say.
Yeah.
But he's making a name for himself. Everyone's
fair
like,
enough.
I mean, Donny B came in and he just lit that field up. Look at his stats.
It's because has anyone else hit a ball against a water tank? I don't think so.
I don't think
so.
And I don't think he's telling people his secrets either at this stage.
No.
He's like, I think I've cracked the code.
Yeah.
I've clocked cricket.
Yeah. For sure.
Because we're recording on Zoom, I realised I didn't check when we started recording.
So we could go on forever.
Well, normally when we record on our normal thing, it's got a timer. And so I've got a rough idea of how long we've been going for.
Well, what's the time now?
Well,
4:37.
Like 4:37. How long you reckon? We've done about 10, don't you?
I
Don't
reckon.
you reckon?
Yeah, so more, like 20 more.
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly. I mean, you
we're
can
on-
always chop a chunk out.
We'll see how we go. Yeah, so look, he's pretty happy with himself, and everyone started to whisper. You know, there's rumblings in the crowd. They're going, "Wow, look at this kid go. Oh, how do you reckon he learned that? Do you reckon he hits a ball against a water tank? Nah.
That's too outrageous.
That's crazy. Now, he had become a legend in his own lunchtime, so to speak.
Okay.
Because Bowral, in its short history of inter-school competition, had never had anyone to talk about. They've been a bunch of just average.
Yeah. They never had their star.
No one needed to trash talk them because they never won. They weren't that good. You don't bother. You don't bother punching down, do you?
No.
You know you're going to turn up and just smash Bowral around. You don't bother getting inside their heads and going, you don't know the Bowral rules. Because they do know the Bowral rules. They're just no good at cricket.
Yeah. They're just not very good.
Yeah. And if you're going to comfortably beat someone, you don't bother trash talking them because it feels a bit mean if you're just dominating. Mittagong have never had to worry.
No. Until now. No. They probably didn't win, though.
So it wasn't just that Donny B had scored 80% of their runs. That's just a little maths for you.
Is that actual maths?
Roughly. It says here 80%. I doubt it's exactly 80, but roughly 80% of the runs Donny B had racked up. Bradman was on edge. So again, this paragraph is either I'm scanning it badly or it's constructed poorly. That's all it moves on.
Okay.
They're just saying he's a legend. They've never had a legend before, and it's not just that he scored 80% of the runs; it's the way he scored them.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It was there were every single one was a 6.
Yeah.
It was just 6 after 6.
Well, look, I don't want to give you spoilers, but another thing that I do know about Donny B is that he very rarely hit a 6. He was not a huge 6 because he did know the Bower rules, and And in his thinking, because he's very analytical, our Donny B.
Okay.
In his thinking, if you hit the ball along the ground, you can't get caught.
Get caught.
If you hit the ball in the air, you might get caught.
Yeah, I mean, that's facts.
And so he spent most of his time practicing hitting the ball along the ground because it eliminated a whole way of going out.
Yeah.
And as such, I think he only hit a handful of sixes. We'll find out eventually, but it's a very low number of sixes.
It's like you're being greedy. Like you could go for it, but you might also die. Do you know what I mean?
He didn't want to risk it. He didn't want to risk it for the biscuit. He didn't need to risk it for the biscuit.
He didn't need to, yeah.
I could get 4 runs and definitely not go out, or I could try for 2 more runs than that, but I might go out.
Yeah.
Do the maths.
Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, we just did.
We've done it. It's and the fact that we're studying the man because he went on to become a legend means his thinking is probably sound.
I mean, other people should use it.
So the next, when they go back to school, Donny B's a bit excited because they've got school assembly.
Oh,
Donny B's like,
nice.
I don't think anyone's ever done as well as me at the old cricketing. Maybe I'll get a mention.
Yeah.
And so the headmaster has began his address to the school assembly in the playground the next morning. Donny B's all aflutter. And the headmaster, I've got to do a headmaster voice.
Okay.
Oh, he's
Dumbledore.
Yeah, but he's Australian, so I've got to do an Australian Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Easy.
I don't know. Once I lock into a thing, it's hard to do variations on it, but I'll try.
Okay.
An Australian Dumbledore. I understand there's a certain boy among you who scored a century yesterday at Mittagong. And Bradman's starts to grin a little bit.
That's me.
He's like, this guy?
He's the only one. He's the only one.
Who's got 2 thumbs and scored 80% of the runs? This guy. And so he's getting excited.
Yeah.
And then the principal goes on, but that is no reason or excuse why you should have left your bat behind. Donny B, in his excitement, left his bloody bat at the cricket ground. He didn't pack up his stuff. He was so excited.
Oh, not the headmaster calling him out, though.
And the headmaster, instead of celebrating Donny B's achievements, has gone, you've let yourself down, you've let the team down, you've left your bat behind. Take a good long hard look at yourself. 10 points. 10 points from Bowral.
But that's everyone.
There was a small school. They didn't have enough to split the kids into houses.
Okay.
They were just all in one house.
Fair enough.
Young Bradman came crashing down to earth. He's like,
my bat.
Oh.
Did he get his bat back?
He's like, you're right, I did let the team down. But the headmaster soon found himself on Donny B's side when shortly afterwards, the Mittagong headmaster wrote formally to Bowral High School requesting that Bradman boy be kept out of the cricket team or there will be no future inter-school matches.
That's not fair.
Oh, Mittagong.
That's not fair.
Mittagongs, they had one match against him and he's written a letter to Bowral saying, if you put Bradman in the side again, we're not playing.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Mate, that is not how sport works. And bloody Bowral have never had a champion. This is their first time.
Let him have it. Let him have it.
They've been losers for years, and now Mittagong lose one game, and they're like, if you send that kid again, game over. Mate,
nah,
I'm officially in my head.
There are other schools.
I'm changing the M to an SH in my head forever, regardless, because that's a dog move.
That is dog act. Yeah.
Mate, I'm outraged. I'm outraged for Bowral. I'm outraged for Donny B. But it did form a closer bond between Donny B and the headmaster. At least the headmaster's like, mate, Donny B.
Dumbledore was like, hang on a second.
Yeah, Dumbledore. He's like, I know I rode you hard about your bat, mate. But this is beyond the pale. I'm giving 10 points back to Barrel. Barrel always wins the house cup.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's the only house. It's not a very exciting trophy presentation.
It also loses as well.
and the winner of the house cup for the 80th year in a row is, drum roll please, it's Barrel.
Barrel.
Oh dear. And so after this, problems began to arise for Barrel in scheduling matches.
Oh no!
Across the board.
Oh,
everyone's like, show us your team.
Because they got one good kid.
One good kid.
One good kid doesn't make a team. Nah. You're only as good as your weakest player. Come on.
And don't you want your kids playing against a good kid? That's going to make your kids better.
Challenge?
That's
right.
Don't
you want a challenge?
Your bowlers are going to learn more if they're playing against bloody Donny B than if they're just rolling over against...
Not the bad sportsmanship. Nah. Get out of here with that.
New South Wales country cricket needs to take a good, long, hard look at itself.
That's not it, sis.
At a schooling level, they've really let themselves down.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Justice for Barrel, not going to lie.
And so because of all the, all the schools being dogs about it, the 12-year-old Donny B was only able to play cricket for his school once more.
Oh, they kicked him off.
He notched 72 not out.
Oh, nice.
He got 70. He just keeps batting until he runs out of partners, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. The other teams should be like, well, if we can't get Donny B out, let's just get the other guys out, and then
keep
Donny B's out.
Strike. Yeah.
So yeah, he was basically a victim of some very poor sportsmanship by the neighbouring schools.
That's rude.
I'm thoroughly outraged.
Yeah.
But look, so far he's got 72, 115, 55. They can't get him out. That's for sure. He's not out every time he goes out there.
I mean, facts.
He doesn't know what it's like to get dismissed.
No.
In terms of cricket, he might not know that you can get dismissed. He might be. That's something that happens to the other guy at the.
Yeah. No. He just turns around and his partner's like got a different face going on. He's like, "What happened to your hair, buddy?"
And then eventually they say it's time to stop batting, and he's like, sweet. How much did I make?"
Fair enough.
And then in February 1921, the next year, a big event in Donny B's life. He got taken down to Sydney,
Okay.
He went up to Sydney to see...
Yeah, I mean, come on.
To see his first actual in-the-flesh test match between England and Australia. A bit of the Ashes.
Oh, Ashes. Did we win that year?
It was the fifth test match. And he's gone. His dad's taken him up to Sydney because he's like, I think you might be all right at cricket. Let's go watch some top-notch cricket, see how you like it.
Yeah.
So they travelled to the city by train on Friday, the 25th of February. And Bradman saw the SCG for the first time. And in his words, it was a thrilling and inspiring experience.
Have I seen the SCG?
On the telly.
Yeah, in real life. Have I been?
No, you've never.
I don't remember.
You've never been to the Sydney Cricket
Ground.
Ground.
It!
No.
Thought I might have, but I don't know.
You've been to the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
The Tasmanian one.
You've been to Hope. Yes, you've been to Bellerive.
Yeah.
Because
is that all?
We had a exciting trip down to Hobart to watch Australia play the West Indies.
As we should.
That was a fun trip.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was the first time I'd seen cricket in somewhere other than Melbourne.
Yeah.
And you've been to Marvel Stadium, as it's known now.
Docklands. Yeah. What was it used to be? Etihad?
It's been, when it first came onto the scene, I believe it was called Colonial Stadium.
There you go.
And then it changed sponsors and became the Telstra Dome.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It was the Telstra Dome for a while.
Okay.
And then it changed hands again, and I think it might have become Etihad after that. Yeah. And it was, you remember it being Etihad, and now it's Marvel Stadium. And that's the history of the Docklands Oval. What is it? It's a stadium.
Yeah,
of the
Etihad
Docklands
Stadium.
Yeah.
Marvel Stadium. Yeah.
So that's just a little bit of bonus stadium content for you.
Lo Stadio.
It ties in
You
with
know?
Donny B.
Yeah.
So he's gone down there. He's loved what he's watched. At Stumps, Australia was 2 for 70.
That's average. Not very good, but average.
Yeah, it's. I wonder what day did he go? I can't see. I'd have to really.
What does
say.
at stumps mean?
At the end of the day, Millie, come on, mate. At Stumps.
No one ever told me that. Oh no, you did tell me that once.
Yeah, you must have heard me say it.
Is it when the umpire like flicks the things off?
Yeah, I mean, he sort of does that at lunchtime and everything as well. But it's kind of the end of.
Why does he do that? That's so much effort. Like, just leave the ground.
It's just a ritual, mate. It's just the ritual of it.
Fair enough.
It's the way they've always done it, and it's the way they always will do it.
Unless they forget.
Yeah. Until someone decides, we can make more money.
Until they listen. Until our podcast becomes the schooling for everyone and we don't mention it, and so they don't do it.
And at the end of the day, everyone walks off the ground without touching anything. Lock it in, kids. That'll be on the test at the end of term. What do they do at the end of a day of cricket? They walk off the ground. Touching
anything, except for the grass because they have to walk on it.
Yeah, they get their hoverboards because it's the future.
Well, then they have to touch the hoverboards.
You're right.
And in that, they're touching the air.
I mean, yeah, at an atomic level, there's a lot of touching going on, but they don't touch the stumps.
Okay.
And that's why it's called Stumps, because no one touches the stumps.
Fair enough.
Because it's still called Stumps. I mean, that goes without saying, kids. That's also on the test.
So at the end of the first day, they were 2 for 70 something.
2 for 70. Yeah.
That's not good, is it?
It's not the best score. I can't tell if it was the end of the first day of play, but I think it was. Yeah, he stayed there. He saw 2 days of cricket. And Australia later won that match by 8 wickets.
Nice.
Yeah, which is good. So just so you know. But Donny B was so inspired by his 2 days of the cricket that he said to his dad, "I shall never be satisfied until I play on this ground. I will never be satisfied."
Did he actually say those? Did he say those exact words?
That's what he said.
He just turned to his dad and he was like, "Dad, I will never be satisfied until I play at this ground." Like, what? He's only like 12.
Yeah.
How old is he? Yeah.
He's 12. But look, it was a different era, mate. It was a different era.
Yeah.
All right.
Is he 12?
He's 12 now.
In 21? When was he born?
It's the start. You know, he was born in August.
In 1908?
Let's say, yep.
Is that 12 years?
Yep.
I don't know how. Wait, I forgot how maths works.
So he's going to turn 13 in 2021.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. I think that's probably all the time we've got. I think we're going for roughly a podcast's amount of time. We've laid down
roughly.
Yeah, rough. We've given about 80%, roughly 80% of our usual podcast time, and I think that's fitting.
Yeah, that's good.
We've laid down some foundation for the future curriculum of generations to come. And
not just in Australia as well. No, we're global.
No, there's no countries in the future, mate. Those boundaries have disappeared. They disappeared when the oceans dried up.
Yeah, makes sense.
There was nothing separating land masses because it was all just land masses.
How? Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. So, welcome to the global education community.
Community.
I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson.
Yeah.
There will be
come back tomorrow. Yeah. Test every day on the episode.
And don't forget to listen to our upcoming Italian episode. There's a lot of stuff. There was a few hints about what we'll be discussing. We said a few numbers, and we also said lo stadio. That will be.
Hey, Dad. We need to get the accent right if we're going to be teachers. Okay. Try again, please.
Lo stadio.
That's good. That's better.
Now I'll do it as Dumbledore as an Italian. Lo stadio.
Dumbledore, classic.
Dumbledore. Il Dumbledore.
The Dumbledore.
That's me.
The Dumbledore.
I am the Dumbledore. If I was Dumbledore, I would like to be known as the Dumbledore.
The Dumbledore, yeah. I mean...
Yeah. Anyway, it's this. I mean, from a participant perspective, this has been no sweat.
Yeah.
Podcasting on Zoom, I may as well be in the kitchen with you.
May as well. Just come back, dude. If you may as well.
I don't think you understand how Chucky waking up works, mate.
No, I don't think you understand. If you Chucky wake it, I don't hear from you ever again.
Oh,
I don't hear from you.
I'm already reinventing what Chucky waking can be. You're right.
Yeah, I know. I am usually.
Maybe I'm good old Stanley waking it.
He died, didn't he? Oh no, Stanley. No, Chucky Wake Jr. died.
Yeah.
Out of the window.
Yeah.
Stanley just had a bad life. He did.
Sad old Stanley.
Sad Stanley.
Never quite recovered.
No.
We've got to let season 2 go. The memories, the memes. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us with our very first interstate podcast. I've got to do much more work at the back end now. I've got to download the audio from this Zoom meeting. I've got to upload it into an audio editing. There's a lot of stuff I've got to do. So I hope everyone in the world and future generations of scholars appreciates it. And if it all goes well, we will be back for even more interstate episodes of
Yonks
Ago.
We will never be able to do that because of Zoom.
It was in sync for me.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe. Who knows? When I listen back, it'll be amazing. I doubt it.
No, because it's recording on yours. So yeah, probably not.
So what we need to do in future is try different methods. Like
I should start saying and then you should get it in sync with yours. You know what I mean? So if I say it ready, on Yonks Ago. You didn't even.
No.
Okay.
Give me a try. Yeah.
Next episode of Yonks Ago. Did that work?
That was in sync for me.
Okay, it was not in sync for me.
Oh, that's the way to do it, though.
Okay.
Oh, actually, we'll see. We've done two methods. We'll see which one worked. The one was in sync for you. One was in sync for me.
Okay.
I've got them both recorded.
Okay.
Time will tell.
So is this going to be in the episode or not?
We'll find out.
But do we need to end on another Yonks Ago? Do you know what I mean?
No, we'll leave them hanging.
Okay.
Oh, I went to pause the recording. I'll never learn. All right.
Just do what I'm talking like right now. Like just stop recording in the middle.